Hey everyone, welcome to episode 9 of season 3 of Where's That Bar Card? I'm one of your hosts, Nick Dury. Alongside me is
Gina Phillips.
Daryl Purvis.
I'm Monty Scott.
So for
Guys,
close viewers,
the pace of that is painful.
Well,
I
for
go
those
for
watching,
maximum pain in my intro.
and just for continuity's sake, for those watching on YouTube, yes, last week Monty had his guns out. This week it's Gina's turn. I think we're going to skip 2 weeks and just go back and just do a Monty and Gina back and forth week by week showing the guns. But Daryl and I don't want to participate at all.
I'm in the UK. They have
Got it.
knives here, no guns.
I'm bringing a knife to a gun show.
Super excited about this week's guest. Gina, why don't you do the honors of introing this guest?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, I just recently met this woman, which is crazy because we've been circling around each other in the golf industry for quite some time. She was at Score Golf before I was. She actually started a women's program at Score Golf, which I can't wait to talk to her about. And since she's been starting up really, really interesting businesses and initiatives. She's the founder of X Women and her golf mentor. So we're definitely going to ask her about that. It's all about designing ways to welcome more women into the golf world, but also for women that work in the industry, how to retain them and keep them in it, you know,
Nice.
Just like me. I'm like trying to stay in it no matter what, even if I have to do a free podcast.
Wow. You're welcome. We're the only thing keeping you in the golf industry, and that's how you describe it.
For you guys who managed one round last year together, that's who's keeping you in the golf industry. That's
Right.
That's
Yeah.
a sad state of affairs.
Well, we'll have one round this year, and hopefully more than one. That would be cool.
We
I can't
should
wait
really
to finally
be out
golf
there
with you guys.
right now. It's 30 degrees here, but
I know.
alas, yeah.
It's amazing here. Yeah.
Monty, there was talks of golfing this
Wonderful
weekend.
here in England too. Just wonderful in England.
I don't think I'm gonna be able to golf this weekend. I was gonna, my sister's birthday. I'm gonna be shooting golf balls at her for much of the dinner. And then, Saturday. No, I don't think Saturday's a possibility. I don't think I can pull it off.
All right. Did we even introduce the guest? Like, say who it is?
Oh, I didn't even say her name. I just teed her up and walked away. Her
Gina has a
name
lot on her mind today. It's she got her second ever spray tan, and she's just confused. First
lot
time
on
she
her-
sat down in
Wild.
8 hours.
A lot on her mind and a lot on her skin.
Yeah, a whole different person now. Her name is Tracey Luel. Luel, if you want to look her up online. She contacted me on LinkedIn recently, and she was like, I want to chat with you about, women in golf and
Wow.
where you're at, where she basically just goes out of her way to make sure that everybody is connected and really supporting each other. She's really cool.
Yeah, this is exciting. I'm excited to meet Tracey and have a fun conversation. And she seems very excited as well. So this is going to be fun.
Yeah, totally. I mean, we're a fun podcast. I think the word is spreading that
Really?
we're kind of cool. Yeah, I actually
Weird,
do.
because I just heard it was a free podcast. That's all I heard.
Well, I have an idea maybe for the summertime. Gina, what do you think? We get undershirts, spray tans. I want to get a spray tan too. And then we'll see what happens with that. Can a dark man get a spray tan? What happens?
Well, you could maybe it would lighten you up. I don't know.
I'll do the reverse. I'll try to go whiter. Listen, I'm trying to get whiter over here. I want a cottage. Get me whiter. This is how I get in. Like, you're going too dark. I'm like, lighten me up.
That's really funny.
No offense, I don't think it's your skin color holding you back from having a cottage.
I may not be. I don't know.
There's some other factors.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, purchase of a cottage, I guess.
Wait, do any of you guys have cottages? Real question.
No.
No.
We're comedians, Gina.
I know.
My family's from Nova Scotia. We don't have a cottage, and no.
My dad,
Well,
my
you don't-
dad
you
hated
don't need it.
backyards, let alone cottages. We had a back. My
So
dad bought a
funny.
machete with the idea he was going to cut the grass with that because he was going to go out. It was a small backyard, and he figured he could just go out, sit down, and swing the machete, and that would be good because the grass was like waist high. So he wasn't
That's
prepared.
hilarious.
Yeah, he never did. I don't know. I guess he would. So a man was just going to let his grass grow that high and then go out and flail a machete around for a couple of minutes, and he figured that was maintenance.
No way the government of Canada was going to let that man have a cottage. I'll tell you that.
No. You couldn't give the Scots a cottage. Because the Scots, the Scots own property. It doesn't own them. You know what I mean?
Well, with that, let's bring on Tracey. Hi, Tracey.
Wow.
Hey guys.
How's
Hey,
it
gals.
going?
Hello.
Hi. Good to see
Okay.
you.
It's a hot day. Holy cow.
It is a very
Hot-
hot day. I think
Hotter
yeah.
for
No,
some
she's in
people. I'm just gonna
Florida.
lay that
Oh.
out right off the bat. No,
Okay.
I'm not anymore. I'm back.
Oh, you're not. Oh, right. You made your way back.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, I'm in
Okay.
Oakville. I'm in Oakville.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Awesome. Yeah, it's warm for sure.
Yeah, I'm losing it over here. It's so hot.
That's crazy. I still have the
He's in
cover on my
England.
air conditioner. So my husband, lucky man, is in Pebble Beach playing golf with his business partners. And he texted me, don't put on the air conditioner because the cover is still on.
All right.
And yeah. So
Oh,
it's
man.
literally 30 degrees in the house, but oh well.
I was about to scream
Oh,
that
no.
myself. It was the cover.
Yeah.
You don't want to blow an
Yeah.
air conditioner right out the gates.
Exactly. Bad move.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing this, Tracey. I'm Nick, by the way.
Oh.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for
Hey.
doing this. And that's
No problem.
Daryl and
I
Monty.
hope I have something interesting to tell you.
No, it'll be great. And we'll get right into it in a minute or two. But yeah, we'll just we
Yeah.
keep it casual for a while and just sort
Yeah.
of hear your journey, and then we'll ask you the par 5 questions in a bit and
Sure.
just have some fun. But yeah, super
good.
excited to have you on.
Grabbing my water here. Yeah, you guys are funny. I was watching some of your YouTube stuff. Good for you.
Oh, well, thank you.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate that. Actually, let's start
Yeah.
here. When was the last time, since you're in Oakville right now, but
Yeah.
when was the last time you were on a golf course?
April 3rd, a week ago Monday.
Wow, down in
I
Florida?
played in the Ross Cup, which the golf course I belong to in Sarasota is a 1926 Donald Ross beauty called Sarah Bay. If you ever want to play it, give me a call and I'll take you there. It's not fancy, but it is a golf lover's golf course and you can walk it, which is why we love it. So we bought our own push carts and we walk every day. But we go in this Ross Cup, which is 24 women from Sarah Bay against 24 women from Bradenton, which is also a Donald Ross design golf course. And we did not win, but that is the last time I played.
If you're going to offer 4 comedians the chance to take us somewhere to play golf, all we have to do is
Yep.
call you. Just consider this a call. So if you could just
Right.
take us, that would be.
Yeah,
love
but
that.
did you hear the part about you can walk it? So Monty's already out.
Oh yeah, Monty.
No, I'm in for walking. I'll only bring one
Okay,
club.
here's a crazy thing, and it's a Florida thing. There's a thing called a walking fee, or no, trail fee.
What?
So we have to pay $12 at a private club. We pay $12 every time we tee off a trail fee to offset the cart revenue, I guess. And it's $90,000 a year that
Oh
is
my God.
revenue from the trail fee. So I'm like $90,000 divided by 250 members, just spread it out. But it's so weird. And it's a lot of the Canadian members apparently that came down and said, we're going to walk if you don't mind. And now half the golf course walks. So that's a thing in Florida. Trail
That's
fee, I've never
wild.
heard of that.
Oh.
So it's, you're punished for trying to be fit.
That's
Pretty
what I
much.
wouldn't do. I would not
Wow.
pay to walk.
So there you go. You know
Yeah.
what? Then you are set because they want you to ride on a cart.
Yeah, I'm like,
That's
listen,
it.
whatever is, if you're gonna let me
Oh.
drive around in a cart, I'll do that then. Yeah, if it's
Yeah.
same price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Ex-
Monty would
ex-
drive
pretty
around in 2
much.
carts. If he could get away with it, he would just have his legs stretched out, driving 2 carts.
Oh yeah,
That's
I would
it.
love that.
A stretch
What?
golf cart. I've never seen one.
Yeah, that would be great. That should
That'd
be
be
the,
really good.
that should be the logo for our podcast. We'll class it up for next season. We'll have a
That's
stretch
it.
golf
Stretch ball.
bar
Yeah.
cart.
Yeah.
Like
I
I
lo-
imagine P Diddy would have one of those.
Oh
Sure.
God. Yeah.
Of all the
Absolutely.
people, why P.
Without
Diddy?
question.
To me, he's the paragon of being fancy.
I don't think he even goes by P Diddy anymore. I got to be honest.
I knew I can't keep up with his names. I gave up on that a long time ago. Is he back to
I
Sean
think-
Combs? Whatever he prefers.
The P is for fancy.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
it.
true.
God, we're so
Fat.
hip. We're so in
We are
tune
so.
with-
I was just thinking,
Holy.
like, we're going down a bad rabbit hole here.
Oh, you think this is bad?
Yeah.
Give it 12
let's
more
go.
minutes.
I often give contemporary rap seminars, actually.
I can see how that would be relevant.
Yeah, it's relevant to our podcast. Yeah.
Is walking like a go-to for you, Tracy? Like if you
Yeah.
can walk, you will walk?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, I don't like riding on a cart.
Yeah.
If I have to, I have to. But no, I find golf is best experienced on foot, and you have those conversations and all those beautiful things. But yeah, if it's a 6-hour scramble or something, nah, you need a cart. But yeah, no, day in, day out, I'll walk. I don't carry anymore. I can't. I did carry for a long time, but those carry days are behind me. But yeah. Oh God, when I think of playing as a junior and you like one strap, no kickstand, throw the bag on the ground,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
we've come a long
I
way.
use a push cart too, though. I just believe in it. I just
Well, you
think
can
like
keep all your
having all the
stuff.
weight. Yeah, and like keeping all the weight on your one shoulder, and it's just not good. It's just
Not good.
yeah, it's just an added hurdle and it just tires me
100%.
out. So I'd
Gina
rather
uses a
push.
push cart just everywhere, not even on a golf course. She's just walking around the
Just around
streets of
the city?
Toronto. Yeah.
Well, I'll know then when I see it who it is.
Well, that's a great point. You guys have sort of almost interacted so many times, but have never actually met, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Gina
well,
and
she
I?
just
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't. I forgot. I think I reached out to you
yes, you did.
on LinkedIn, maybe. Because that's part of my platform really around women's golf is being a connector and trying to support everyone in the game and around the game and pushing the needle however I can push it. So network is a big part of what I do and what I've always done. And I was like, wait, Gina and I have never had a conversation, and we had a really lovely one.
Yeah.
And I'd love to help Gina get back into the world of golf, and I have an ask before the end for something.
Oh wow.
Yes, I'm doing a charity event. When the right moment comes up, I'll explain. And I think it'd be great for you to show up there.
Yeah, we'll do. Daryl
Very
and Monty
cool.
and I will be there for sure.
Yeah, this is nice.
It's
Thank you
all
for having
women.
us as the guests.
It's all
too.
women, so
Oh, heck, great. I'm
just setting
Even
the
better.
stage.
Well, when you did reach out to me and we had that great conversation, I was like, oh, she'd be a really good guest to have on, because we try to cover
Mhm.
all different angles in golf. And
Mhm.
when you reached out to me, I definitely felt very seen, I guess would be a good way to say it, in that you were like,
Good.
hey, like, what's your journey? Like, when did you start? And what was your
Mhm.
experience at Score Golf? And what are you doing
Mhm.
now? And I really appreciaed that sort of conversation. It's one that I haven't had with anybody else.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
I'm glad, because
Mhm.
yeah, what I remember mainly about that conversation was being kind of annoyed after that that you were there in this particular place but no one asked if you played golf and no one helped you learn, which made me so
Mm.
mad. So I think that was just kind of almost a symbol of how it goes sometimes for women in golf through the years. And it's hard. It's not an easy game to get into. And there you were, a spokesperson, a symbol, and no one helped you get into the game easily. But so that, if anything else, I wanted to lean in to help you do that.
Yeah. And talk about how you go about mentoring people in golf. So when you have a conversation like that, what is the next step usually?
Well, so my business, Her Golf Mentor, has 3 parts to it. And one of the parts is mentoring women one-to-one. So I've actually created a business model where I get paid to build a strategic plan for women and build them, connect them to all the parts. So that nobody really does that. Nobody monetizes that. I do. And I focus on women, like C-suite women or senior executives. And it's a bit of a loss leader. So I help them get into the game. Then they love golf, and then they, have a larger platform to spend money or, in around sponsorship and things like that. So it's a bit of a tactic, mentorship and mentoring those women and getting paid to do it. But I do it every day also, and I do it for free lots of times. So to answer that question, it's just it's simple. It's if the analogy I use is the general contractor. As a general contractor builds a house, I am a mentor to a woman in her golf game. So it's sit down and figure out what it is you want to do. What's your vision? Why are you here? What do you want out of golf? And then what are all, how much time do you have, and how much money do you have, and all of that stuff. And then I build the plan to match what it is she needs. And I have a platform that I speak about often in the business, and that is that it's a 3-year journey for that to happen. And that's where things often get broken down in the business, because women will start, they'll go to a clinic, a 12-to-1 ratio with a golf pro and have a taster, and then that's it. So the nurturing required to get a woman from net nothing, net new to proficient is a bit of a different journey. And I really believe it takes about 3 years for that to happen. So I help women kind of build and connect to all the pieces, either one-on-one, or I do it kind of spiritually through, media, conversations, day in, day out. Mm-hmm.
That's incredible. And you've used the word connect a few times. It's amazing when someone can describe their business in one word, and you sort of seem to have like honed in on that word. Is that something that developed organically, or was that sort of a strategic direction that you decided one day, this is what I would like to do, or did it just sort of happen naturally?
Well, I think it's just really my personality. And I just figured out a way to monetize it. So the tagline for my business is connecting to golf one woman at a time. So we're growing the game one woman at a time, and connections, big part of it. So it did happen organically, but then it became actually part of the brand, was just helping women connect, making those connections. And then just through various iterations of my career and my life, I have a pretty big network, and a varied network that's corporate and golf. And I grew up as a junior, and that was the other thing for me is the first 10 years of my career were in traditional business. So I worked for big international companies in sales, and golf was an incredible tool for me in my 20s. Because I was a good player, and I got invited to all the tournaments. I got to play with all the senior executives. I was this kind of, anomaly. And I went with it. I said, sure, I'll play with that person, and I'll hit from the forward tees, and they'll count all my drives because I can hit it farther. But what it did was get me in the room to have conversations that other people didn't get to have. And that started to, the wheels were turning. And then there was a pivotal moment when I moved from traditional business into the golf industry, very much with that in mind, that I would take all of the things that I'd learned, all of the business aspects, and this knowledge that golf's an incredible gift and tool for women to have. And I wanted to be part of, helping more women participate in it. And that was a long time ago. So that was, my eldest is 27. It was her birth. So 28 years ago is when I made that shift.
Incredible. Can you talk a little bit about how you started with golf, how old you were, and where you got into it, and that story?
As a player?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah. So my dad introduced me to golf, and it's a neat story because he grew up in London, Ontario. He was, if anyone knows London, he was EOA, meaning he was east of Adelaide, in not a wealthy section of town. His parents were, factory worker folks, and he caddied at Forest City National as a kid who at around 10 years old, and I forget the name of the pro and I should know, but the pro at the time took my dad under his wing and taught him to play golf.
Wow.
So another thing that I chirp and chirp about through the years is the power of caddying. And I just saw the other day that Club Link actually has just launched a whole caddy program, which
Oh,
I
interesting.
love so much because
Cool.
that's, you know, so my dad being a caddy in London, the economic footprint of that, when you look at, you know, me, my siblings, my children, all the way that we interact with the game, it really came from that, from like a little community interaction. So I always played, you know, as soon as I could walk, I had a little cut down golf club with band-aids for grips. And I was my dad's little, you know, tomboy buddy. So he lied about my age to get me into Brampton Golf Club early because you had to be 12. So I was 10. And Brampton Golf Club was an incredible place to grow up as a junior. Many national champions came out of there. It was a you know, casual, low-key kind of place to be, but juniors were very welcome and there were lots of us. So that's kind of how I got started.
How good did you get quickly? Like how old were you when you broke, let's say 90 for the first time?
Oh, I don't remember that. The best I got was when I was 16. And at 16, I think I would have been about a 5 handicap at 16.
Wow.
And that would have been,
Wow.
and that was, you know, in 1981 or 82 or 83 and around there is when I was playing a lot of competitive golf, and I was ranked in the province top 10, and I won the Marlene Street award fund, and there was a lot going on around my golf. So back then a 5 handicap was one of the best there was because there weren't that many of us playing.
Sure.
It wasn't, but I grew up, I had,
Wow.
you know, 4 boys that I grew up with at Brampton who are still my best friends here. They're all coming to my daughter's wedding in 3 months. And so I had a great environment. So I played a lot. So that's about as good as I got. I got that good. But underneath it all, I had a huge amount of anxiety on the golf course, and the anger story. When you ask me that question, I'll get into it.
Can't wait.
It was me. It was me. And I was awful. And so I was too emotional to really close the deal on high level competitive golf, and I knew it. So I had opportunities to play NCAA, had offers. And I just said, you know what, I will implode. It is not for me. That's not my journey. So I went to Western, I went to business school. Sadly, there was no girls golf team back then. So I kind of hard stopped playing competitive golf. And I didn't really pick it up again until I graduated and started playing corporate golf.
And how did your relationship with the game change then when it was like corporate golf? Did the anxiety go away?
Yeah, well, the stakes were lower because back
course,
then
yeah.
that was kind of, you know, scramble. So it was
Right,
awesome
right.
because I didn't
Yeah.
have any pressure. I just had to, as I said earlier, you know, I was the ringer off the tee. I could hit it 250 yards back then. So it was like, put her up there. So
Wow.
I will say, coming back to it though, if I had to play, you know, full on, it was very frustrating because that, you know, you essentially take an 8-year hiatus and your game isn't where it was. So it takes a while to adjust to being a recreational player. And somebody on one of your podcasts had a hat, and I forgot. I have one upstairs, and it says, "No one cares what you shoot." It's a G4 hat, and that's kind of that's actually what no one cares. And the thing about corporate golf is what they do care about is your behavior.
Yeah.
So if I showed up like, oh, you know, I used to be so good, or I don't usually play like this, you know, people who say that stuff, it's so lame.
Yeah.
And then you judge that person
Right.
as you know, fully and completely. Corporate golf is extremely I can't think of the word but it, you know what, it's a mirror, and it reflects kind of who you are in business. It can. So I had to learn very quickly, no one really cared, and I wasn't as good. I was never going to be as good as that, but I could still use all the things that I knew to leverage to make relationships and have fun and do all that stuff.
That's really self-reflective of you to say, I don't want to take a scholarship and like because I can very much relate to that, like playing where I'm like, I might be too nuts for this game. And at some point you were like, well, no, I emotionally it would be so hard when you have such high stakes to play golf like that, and you're like, nah, don't want to do that. That's a great move.
It made me feel really, so the difference back then to a game that I didn't have a mental coach. I didn't have a coach. My dad taught me golf, and there was no talk about emotional management. Like that wasn't part of what we had. Now the kids, I mean, my son grew up playing junior golf, and I didn't even see him play. Like I would drop him off because I just didn't, my mom never saw me play golf one time. I used to get rides. I would get billeted. I would stay with other families. Golf is just so different now. The parents are so hands-on, and the kids are very, very, handled and nurtured and managed. And I probably could have used some of that. I could have used some help to manage, mainly just breathing. I didn't breathe. I'd get up, I'd get upset, and my throat would literally lock up. Wow. And I didn't know how to manage it. So yeah, when I just went, nope, I don't think that's for me. It just made me feel really nervous, the thought of it.
That is quite the journey. Like imagining, I mean, to be so
I wasn't that good either. Like
5 handicap. Come on.
Yeah.
No,
but
but
come on.
yeah, but sure. But that's the other thing, is I think I was honest, and and that's why too I often am asked to chime in or advise parents who have kids that are juniors, and it's like, don't blow smoke up there, unless you, like in Canada where we play golf 6 months of the year, the kids in the US, the kids in those warm playing public parks, they're so good. They're so good. So if you can get a great education out of it, go for it. But other than that, you got to be so good. They're so good, these kids that play. And frankly, our schools here are really good. So unless I could get into a really good school, what's the point? Just because you can get a free education doesn't mean it's a good one.
You've talked about corporate golf a lot, and the differences. Well, one, that the reason Monty doesn't participate in corporate golf is because it is about behavior, and he knows that that's just not. But I wanted to ask, given that we're comedians, and oftentimes we do corporate gigs and corporate golf courses or tournaments, what has been your experience like with comedians or comedy at golf courses or tournaments?
I'm trying to think if I've had. Well, it's actually such a great thing you're asking, because I've just discovered this woman, Becky Robinson, in the US, and she has this persona called Entitled Housewife, and it's hilarious. So you have to check it out on your own or whatever. But I reached out to CAA, who manages her, to say, what do I have to do to bring her up here? Because when you see what she does, she's got this whole persona, and her husband Scott and her 2 kids, and she talks to them like this, but she's hilarious. So she mocks, the private club entitled wife golfer, and it's really, really, really funny. And it's off color sometimes too, which I'm all good with that. But so I haven't experienced it myself at an event, but I think it's an amazing idea. So she comes and spends the whole day, so she'll kind of blend in her persona and ride around, and she's all about, so she just launched a song called Mama Wants a Claw. And and she's got a whole thing about golf. But there's another woman here in Oakville who doesn't do it anymore, but she did stand up, and she's a golfer. She plays at Hamilton Golf Club, and she was a nurse by trade, and she would do a lot of comedy in and around golf. But I think there's a huge opporopportunity.
Do you know her name? Because sounds like she could be a future guest on the show.
Yeah, well, maybe Meg Soper.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know her?
Yeah, I've met her a few times. Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yep, yeah.
So yeah, she's not doing it anymore because I actually reached out to say, you know,
Oh,
I've got a few
shoot.
events that I'm running this year. Would you do it? Because she is a member of a private golf club and she gets it. So she kind of just again does that kind of, you know, funny references, but it doesn't have to be a woman. I think, you know, making fun of all of it is a really good idea.
Totally.
I have an ongoing list, a couple girlfriends and I, of all the isms around, you know, women at private clubs and the stuff like the terminology and the weird things. So I have this long list, and then we just keep adding to it, and people, they wouldn't believe it. There's so many stupid things.
Could you give us a couple of examples? Yeah.
Please.
Okay.
And
So
offend as many people as possible. Men mostly.
I can't think of any male really. Okay, so the first one that's really stupid is, and Gina, so I don't know if you know, so when you're playing golf and someone gets a birdie, and then you go to the next hole, and you know, everyone plays ready golf, right?
Right.
But you're not to go ahead of someone who's had a birdie, because otherwise your boobs will fall off. That is the trope. That's the trope. I'm not kidding. It's like,
Jesus.
or worse. That's the nicest one I can say. There's other ones where it's like, oh my God, I was just about to go ahead of you. You got a birdie. I better not do that, or else other horrific, you know,
What?
bodily things will occur.
I have
And it's-
never
it's-
heard that.
100%. It is a common, like it's a, I swear it's like a private club, women who play and member guests.
Wow.
So that's a thing. Yeah. Don't go ahead of someone who's had a birdie. On the another one, the two club. This isn't offensive. It's just, it's cute, but the two club, it's a big US thing. So the two club is you join the two club by paying $2 to someone in your group. And then once you do that, you're now part of the two club. And every time you make a two, everyone that you play with has to give you $1. It's just these weird things.
That's so strange.
That
It is
sounds
so
like
strange.
a pyramid scheme.
It's kind of like it is. Birdie juice. Birdie juice is a girly thing. You know about birdie juice, probably.
Oh yeah.
And
Birdie
that
juice
one.
is a guy thing. I never saw that until the last year.
oh yeah, see, I thought it was a girl thing because they've all got these bejeweled flasks in their bag now with that horrible cinnamon.
Oh, fireball.
Oh,
Yeah.
Fireball. It's awful.
Yeah, it really
So
is.
that's a thing. Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Well-
and then I think dressing up for member guests is probably the biggest dumb thing that
Mm.
I have pictures of myself wearing costumes that are so humiliating, but that's a thing. The member guests, the women will dress up, and there's a lot of people now that are sort of trying to put a lid on that after a lot of years. But yeah, how can you play golf if you're wearing, you know, a princess outfit with wings and stuff? That happens.
I've asked myself that many times.
Yeah,
How
you
can I
could
play in
try
this?
it.
I don't know.
You guys could put those costumes on and come and do your comedy at a youth event, and that would work.
uh-huh.
Feel it might be. Don't be distracted by my wings. Let me talk to you about my socks.
That's it. Exactly.
Talk about
Hmm.
your time at Score Golf, and like you were there before I was,
Mm.
but you started some pretty interesting initiatives.
Yeah, it was really fun. It was a timing thing. You know, just as I was looking at getting out of traditional packaged goods and into an area of passion for me, my husband at the time worked for IMG and knew all the Score Golf gang. So he set up a lunch for me with Bob Weeks, who was there at the time. And they were just launching a women's golf magazine. And they said, we kind of need someone to steer it and take it on and launch kind of a whole women's platform. And I was like, that is what I am supposed to do. So it was fantastic. It was great timing. We launched that magazine. We went on to launch Score Golf for Women Television and radio and website. We created a national clinic series called Links for Women, which we did in partnership with Women of Influence. It was big. We had, you know, several big corporate partners in behind us. BMO was a very big supporter of all the things we did. And at any given time, I always say we could reach and interact with 250,000 Canadian women who golfed. It was really It was a really powerful
Wow.
media platform at that time. And yeah, we had a lot of traction. We, you know, when you think that Golf Canada has under 400,000 members, but there are 6 million Canadians who golf, it's hard to reach all those Canadians because they're not all members of private clubs, right? So
Mhm.
we had through all of these different media entities created a way to reach all these women.
Amazing.
So, yeah, and then
That
it
is
wasn't.
so cool.
That's
Did
another
you just
story.
say there are 6 million Canadians who golf?
Yes,
Ah,
maybe more now. Maybe more. Probably more after COVID. Yeah.
Mhm.
So golf is defined by the research. You know, I'll get geeky, but not for long.
Mm.
It's like the research. If you golf one time, you're considered an occasional golfer, and so you're new, or
Mm.
you're occasional, or you're avid, or you're core. And they used to measure it and track it very carefully. So it is, you know, back when I was in the business at SCORE, we had access to a lot of that research. And golf at that time, and probably still is the biggest participation sport in the country
Wow.
by the numbers.
Yeah.
And when it's a big number. And now when you look at things like off course, like, you know, Top Golf ranges, indoor simulators, that number, I wouldn't be surprised if that number is closer to 10 million now, because lots of people are trying golf in different ways that didn't exist before.
That's
this
incredible.
podcast should be doing way better.
I was going to say,
I'm
Daryl,
so
like
what
10
a-
million, 10 million is like double the amount of listeners we have of this podcast.
know.
We're
Yeah.
missing 50% of our audience, I think.
Honestly, you guys should tap the indoor simulator community. There's
Interesting.
those places have
That's a good
opened up.
idea.
I mean, in Oakville alone, I mean, right off the top of my head, there's at least 6 in Oakville.
Wow. Yeah.
And I worry about the sustainability of that business, but that's, you know, for another conversation, because
Sure.
it's not easy. You know, as soon like on a day like today, nobody wants to be in a simulator, but they've opened all across the country, and they've created all this new kind of access, and lots of women are flocking to indoor simulators to learn golf in the winter time. It's a great way for I promote it everywhere I go. It's a great way for a woman to go and learn the basics, like during the cold of winter. What a phenomenal thing. You can learn all the introductory things, all the boring things. And then April comes and you're ready to, you know, get to the next level.
Before we get to the par 5 questions, it's something you said earlier that's stuck with me. You talked about how that 3-year journey to get someone from like no experience. Can you describe in general terms, obviously it's in general terms, but like what that journey is and how it is successful?
Yeah. Well, I don't say that it's 3 years for people. I really feel like it's 3 years for women, and it's an average, and it's just a conversational thing for me. But that's because women, you know, oftentimes are pulled in different directions, and they're not necessarily going to be able to focus on it. So that 3 years, it is like that. But you know, it probably is about 3 years for anyone who wants to get to proficiency. But the first year is, you know, learning all of the weird, hard, you know, intricate parts of the sport. There's a lot of terminology. There's a lot of rules. There's a lot of, and a lot of those rules are about being safe, right? So you've got to learn the basics, right? And just feel comfortable with all the terms, and where I'm going, and what does this mean, and what does that mean? And then the basics of the equipment, and the basics of, you know, holding the club, and it depends whether if someone arrives and they were really athletic, it's oftentimes easier for them to pick it up. Sometimes people have no athletic ability whatsoever, so they have to kind of learn. I always have this thing where I get a woman to just throw a baseball. I'll just say, just trust me, can you just throw this baseball? And I can tell a lot, you know, if she kind of leans into it and does this, or if it's, then it's like, okay, we might have some more learning to do. So year 1 is that. Most people can't hit a golf ball off the ground during the first year. So I love to, you know, coach that people should just use a tee everywhere and all the time. You can get on the golf course faster that way. So year 1 is like that. Year 2 is just the progression of that, learning to be on the golf course, learning to keep up. Like, it's not practical. The whole speed of play thing is really challenging. That is probably the most challenging part. It's not a democratic experience,
Right.
when you're sent
That's
out
true.
and you're told, you're like, hit it off the ground, you don't know anything, and keep up. Well, it's not really practical. So year 2 is often getting out on the golf course and again using the tee and take it out. And then year 3 is when you start to be able to hit it off the ground and understand how far you hit the ball and like that. So the goal at the end of that 3rd year would be that you can hit a shot off the grass with some level of consistency, and then you can play a traditional version of golf. But until then, it's not really fair or practical to send someone out into like, just put the ball in the grass and start swinging and keep up. No, it's not going to work. And most people just get horrified and run away.
And overwhelmed and intimidated.
And embarrassed. And it's just like, why would I ever do this to myself? And so the process isn't properly managed. And for whatever reason, guys just don't, and this is a generalization, I'm sorry, but guys will just show up and go, I played hockey. What's the big deal?
Right.
Like there's not, women typically, particularly corporate women, I'm going to say, are maybe more process driven. Like, how does this work? I want to know more about how this works. What is the objective here? Where guys are like, whatever, there's not as much fear. Guys just seem to be able to show up and take a swing, and the expectations doesn't matter if you hit it 300 yards sideways and potentially kill 5 people. It just doesn't seem to bother the typical fellow, but women don't want to be embarrassed like that.
Well, Tracey, in fairness to men, they never worry about the ramifications of their actions. That's one of our skills.
It's good you're aware.
And
he's aware that he's unaware.
That's it. I'm aware and I just don't care.
And I'd have to agree. I've ended a lot of golf rounds running in the forest. I wake up in the forest running, and I was like, I was just playing golf and something went awry.
Yeah. It can be dangerous. It can be very dangerous.
It can be.
That's why it's funny. There's, this oftentimes, women that are new to the game, and if they have, a significant other, a boyfriend or a husband or a friend, a guy that plays golf, their impression is he's awesome. Like they're like, oh my God, I can't play with my fella because he's just so awesome. And I just say I'm sure he's an awesome person, but he's probably a horrible golfer, and he probably cheats, and he doesn't play golf. He doesn't play real golf. He probably tips it up and he doesn't know the rules, but he doesn't care. He has a good time. That's different. Yeah. Right. But there's this impression that it's just, it's so easy for the guys. The girls just show up with a little more anxiety, I think.
And there's also the impression like if you play at all, then you're good. Yeah. Like you have to be good to play, right? That's the expectation.
Well, I love that. That's one of my things that, that I take into the universe when I ask a woman, are you a golfer? And she'll say, no, no. And I'll go, well, how many times a year do you play? And they'll say, well, I mean, I play 6 or 8 times, in a corporate thing. And I'll say, do you own your own equipment? Well, yeah, I have golf clubs, but you're not a golfer though, Right. So it's this whole, the definition of it is half the problem is, what does it even mean to be a golfer? Well, that's changing really quickly because of things like Top Golf, which is exciting. So what you can define yourself differently as a golfer, if you just go to a range and enjoy it, pick up a club and hit balls. I think a lot more women will now say, oh yeah, I'm a golfer. I go to the range. That's fine. You're in.
That's great. I think it's time for the par 5. I'm going to allow my friend and counterpart Monty lead us in.
Listen, I've been running in this forest for a while. Can someone tell me where the par 5 is?
I love it. Tracey, question number 1, your favorite golf course?
Oh gosh, you know what? I had a really hard time nailing down one. Excellent. So can I have more than one?
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
So medalist.
Mm,
awesome.
wow. Yeah.
And I am very fortunate to have a good friend of mine from my golf course who's a member there. And that is a very special place to get to be, especially as a woman, because there's not very many women around medalists. I'm Redtail is amazing. I have a family connection to that place and have been really fortunate to be able to spend a lot of time there, but it is extremely special in a lot of different ways. Calusa Pines in Naples is a very cool golf course. And then I have to say, Toronto Golf Club is my home course and it is my happy place on earth. So those are 4 gems, I'd say.
I like how you have connections to courses. Our connections are like, I know a guy who knows a guy who works at Bushwood. Way different.
Well, that's all right. Now you know me. Now you know me.
And I don't know if you've played at Pebble, Augusta, or St. Andrews.
I haven't. None of those.
But other than those 3, what is the course you would most want to play that you haven't played?
I don't know. I think it's, you know what? I haven't been to Ireland or Scotland at all. So I really, my husband and I were supposed to go to Scotland for our 25th or 30th wedding anniversary, which was just right before COVID. We had a whole thing planned. So I mean, St. Andrews, because right? I have to go check that box. It's the tabernacle of golf. So I guess I'd have to be honest and say I need to check that box. But there's some incredible golf courses in Ireland and Scotland, like Carnoustie and Old Head. And I mean, I'd love to go play all of those classic old golf courses.
You know what's weird that happened today? It has nothing really to do with what you just said. I'm in England right now. And my wife and I were going to Oxford.
I saw that you were touring there.
Yeah,
when I looked at your website. There you go.
Yeah, my wife and I are going to Oxford today just to go see Oxford. And we're on the bus there, and I'm reading my book, and I went, golf course. And I looked over, and there's a golf course right there. It was so weird. Yeah.
Yeah, they're everywhere. They have like public putting, facilities, and it's very accessible. It's accessible. It's public. Well, St. Andrews is ultimately a public facility, right?
Sure.
The community has access to it. Yeah, it's very ingrained in life there. But that's cool.
Amazing.
Yeah. I keep seeing people carrying golf clubs in the subways here, and I'm like, it's too cold. They're
going to simulators. That's why they're doing that.
That's probably what they're doing.
They're going to the Sand Trap on King Street West.
Question number 2, Tracey, you can put together your ideal foursome with no PGA, LPGA, or Live Tour players, and anyone alive or dead is welcome. Who is in your foursome?
All right. Again, I have an A and a B. I'm a bad decider, but without question, my dream foursome is my family. So my husband and my 2 kids, the dreamiest thing. And again, part of what I sell when I talk to women about why they ever would want to play is the Sunday afternoon 9 holes with Perry, Henry, and Jojo Luel is the best. So, the fact that we all 4 play, my daughter's 27. She's a very proficient player. My son's a good player. My husband, the kids are using it in their business. It's amazing. But yeah, our 9 holes together is the best. But outside of my family, I'm a huge Smart List podcast fan.
Sure.
So
Same.
I would love to play golf with Will and Jason. And then I would sprinkle in maybe, which sounds random, but like a Celine Dion, because she's apparently a really good golfer too.
Really?
And
she's on next week. We're having her on next week. We're pretty excited.
I'm gonna get her on. And actually, Anne Murray is also a good golfer, and I think she plays out of
that could be good.
I'm not
I actually reached out to Anne Murray to be on this podcast, and her people got back to me and said she's not doing any interviews at this time, unfortunately. So,
are you serious?
Yeah.
I've actually tried. I've tried to reach out too to see if I could. Yeah, no, I think she's shutting it down, in terms of public persona. But yeah, she's a well-known golfer, and Celine she owned what was a golf course? Is it Meritage, something like that? She owned a golf course in Quebec. Yeah, well known. Yeah, but honestly, the smartless guys that I would like golf and laughter. I grew up playing with these boys and all I did was laugh my head off for a decade of my life. So that's humor and golf go together for sure.
The first foursome with your family, is it
Yeah.
ever competitive? Who wins
Always.
Generally? It's always
It's
competitive.
always
Who
competitive.
wins?
It depends. We always have a match. It's girls against
Okay.
the boys, or
Yep.
it's Perry and I against the kids. We all have proper handicaps, so it's strokes count.
Oh, game on.
Lots of chirping, lots of
Wow.
mental strife being placed upon people. We have a
Good parenting
Yeah.
tips. Good parenting
we,
tips.
we
I always
well,
tell
we
women,
have-
if you really want to inflict some issues on your kids, bring them to the golf course.
That's it. And
Chirp
make them putt this one. No, we have a term. I don't know if we made it up, but I think we did. So when we have a game, there's the short, there's the front, the back, the long, the net, the gross, like all of it.
Right.
And if you win all of those things, it's called a shump. And I don't know why.
Shump.
If you shump someone, you've kicked their ass in every known possible way, and it has happened. And I won't say to who, but some people have had shumpings occur in my family. Yeah, and it's not good when it happens.
Does it end up coming home? Does it after the
It
round's
can.
over?
It
I bet.
can. Yeah, there can be bitterness that gets carried on for sure.
That mental strife.
My husband and I always play a match too. Even the two of us, we always play a match. And
Wow.
he's got such a great temperament on the golf course. He's so lovely. And I'm
little
not
fiery?
sometimes. I can get sucky. I get annoyed. I'll be like, whatever. Yeah. I played very pregnant with my first daughter, with my first child. I was able to, and anyways, I can remember the first time he beat me, I was literally 6.5, 7 months pregnant or something.
Oh my God.
And now he beats me
That's so
regularly, to
good.
be fair. Now he beats me regularly, but this was, it was the last, I was like waddling along and he beat me and I went,
Can we just say,
whatever.
could you
Like-
add the words golf into there instead of stop saying he beat you the first time you're 6.5 months pregnant?
when I was 6.5. I guess you'll have to edit that part, or that'll be the commercial for the thing. Like, beat me when I was 6 months pregnant. No.
Oh, we lost
Oh.
He ripped out her internet.
him. I told you to never talk about that in public.
Just pulls the cord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad. That was getting.
That is too bad.
Oh,
getting
Oh,
she's back.
she's back.
Oh, that's fun. Be right back.
Sorry.
Hey,
So,
You
it
know,
wasn't-
something happened. Yeah.
Your husband didn't rip out your
I was
Wi-Fi.
going to say he heard me, and no, he is in Pebble Beach, as I noted earlier.
Oh, right.
Anyways, I was just going to say that, I wasn't very happy about that, being beaten at that stage, and had very choice, angry words about, big deal, you have beat a pregnant woman. How you feel
At
good about
golf.
yourself.
Yeah.
Way to go, But yeah, now he can regularly take me down with But it's fun.
Right.
Yeah, you got to have a game. You got to make it count.
Yeah.
you
I
should have
love
you should have faked a water break on the course,
Never
just
thought
to
about
for
that.
dramatic effect. Just right away, just
Exactly.
be like,
Yeah,
I guess congratulations, honey.
Wait.
Oh,
Yeah.
all
Also,
the
It looks like-
attention right away from him.
Right. It looks like blue Gatorade. Which leads to the next question. I don't know if you consume alcohol or if you drink on the golf course, but on a hot summer day, the bar cart comes along. What are you
Yeah.
ordering from the bar cart?
Yes. So I love cocktails outside of golf. I typically don't drink on the golf course.
Great.
I'm usually dehydrated and all of that, but I don't never drink on the golf course. So when I do, it is a lime White Claw for sure, and or a bottle of rosé, and those are two real extremes. But the one of them is kind of a red tail
whole
thing. So
bottle.
when we're
Yeah,
there, yeah,
so
there's-
like
I don't-
750
it's
mils.
by the
or
bottle. Yeah, it's by the
750 mils
bottle.
of rosé.
That's,
Okay,
that's
good.
it. Either
I don't really,
750 mils of rosé.
I don't really drink on the
or
golf
a-
course. I just take out a handle of Jack Daniels.
A
What I
bottle.
do.
That's it. I have my parameters. Yeah, but that's not very often. But yeah, those would be the two. And then yeah, maybe a Coors Light after I like. But yeah, those are my bar cart items. It has to be a very specialized bar cart to have the Whispering
Yeah.
Angel by the bottle that I need.
just bottle holder hold a bottle of wine? Is it shaped properly for that?
Well, there's a 26 ounce. What are those? The coffee cup company starts with a T. The tumblers, the water bottle company. Anyways, there's one that's like you can put a whole bottle of wine in it, and it fits.
Oh.
I think sounds like I've done it before.
Great.
Tips by Tracy.
That's it.
This is why they pay you.
Or we have the bag with ice in it, and you can put all the bottles in and keep them nice and cold, and then just literally serve yourself. And we might even have glassware sometimes.
Wow.
It depends.
Wow.
Yeah, it can get
This is
classy.
next level.
Okay.
Glorious.
Yeah, I think we all want to know the time your husband beat you when you were pregnant. What was he drinking?
Nothing then. Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
Not
That's-
every course has a bar cart, as you know.
That's very true.
Not every
Yeah,
course has a
sadly.
bar cart.
Yeah.
It is sad. What is that? That was another term. Oh, there's such a great term. Airstrike. That's it. Have you heard that one?
Mm-mm.
I think this
No.
guy might have made it. I won't say who it is, but he's a member at a private club. And when he wants some cocktails to be brought to him, he calls it an airstrike. And so he calls in to the clubhouse and then we'll order, and then he'll say
That's
airstrike
awesome.
coming in. And that's his, yeah. So that's what you can.
That's funny.
Yeah,
good.
it's good. That works too.
You teed us up for this question number 4. So it's not the angriest you've ever seen someone, it's you. You've already said it's you. So please, I can't wait to hear this story.
Well, I don't know if it's a story. It's more of a decade of bad behavior, but I don't want to throw my dad under the bus too much here, but he was a legend. He had a legendary temper, and my dad's a great guy and everybody loves my dad. But again, we grew up at Brampton Golf Club, and the guys that I grew up with were all his caddy. They caddied for him at all these different corporate events and things. And so his nickname was the Bear, as in don't poke it. And he would snap clubs, throw clubs into cornfields, and they'd have to go get them and bring them back. And one time there was a whole set of golf clubs that faced a river, and they were gone forever. But so he would get very upset and he would get very angry. And I kind of just saw that as a kid. So I was pretty fiery and angry. And there was one particular night that I do recall. I was playing by myself at Brampton Golf Club. The sun was going down. It was men's night, and the men would go up on the patio and have cocktails. And I was teeing off in the 10th hole by myself and hit a 5-wood, and it wasn't very good. And I went like the F-bomb at the top of my lungs. I'm alone. And I smash my club, and the head comes off the club, and I've destroyed my club. And my dad saw me do it up on the thing. He sees me and he's like, oh, there's Tracey, teeing off on 10. Let's all watch. And what they see is me having an absolute tantrum alone. So he storms out and he's yelling, and he literally did the by the ear to the car, clubs in the car, grounded for 2 weeks, not able to play. And so that was terrible. But that didn't actually stop me. I still continued to have very emotional outbursts. What stopped me, and this was later in life, when I met my husband, when we were dating, and he wasn't a golfer then, and I think we were in Midland or something. We were at some municipal golf course. We were just dating. We were playing golf, and I showed up as angry Tracey and really not a nice person to be around, and swearing and like throwing clubs and stuff. And he's like, what is this? And he kind of said, I really liked you, but if this is the whole thing,
Wow.
I think I'm done. Like, he literally said that I have no interest. And I went, ooh. And that was, I literally I just hadn't thought about it, that it would affect someone else in this way. So he helped me see that it was really not very pleasant.
Holy, I don't like golf, Tracey, is what he was saying.
It was, yeah, just really not fun. I would just get mad and swear and throw things around. And so, yeah, I just didn't learn properly as a kid, you know, that how it affects other people's enjoyment.
Sure.
So now I never get mad now. I mean, I'll, you know, get a little bit, but not like that. Yeah, no, it was.
I feel like
kinda
too
crazy.
much commenting on your game, no matter if it's going well or if it's going bad, or if you're
Yeah.
embarrassed, or if
Yeah.
you're like, my whole thing is like laughing at myself, but that
Yeah.
can also become really obnoxious, right? It's like no one wants to see you. No one wants to deal with your emotions, no matter what they are, and
Right.
anger would be a really dominating one for sure.
Oh, it's horrendous. It ruins
Yeah.
everyone's time. It's not fun. I have no problem with someone who shows up laughing. I don't agree with you there. I think if someone shows up, you know, I'll play with anybody if they're fun. And I learned that. I did. And my kids grew up knowing that too. And
Yeah.
so, you know, their approach was a little bit different. But you know, and my dad, I feel that my dad's such a great guy. He just, you know, he was super emotional, and I'm super emotional. And no one ever told me, no one ever said, your behavior has repercussions and stop or else. And I, you know, I liked the guy, so I changed my behavior for him.
Oh,
I thought possibly during that story, your dad, rather than reprimand you, was going to smash the rest of your clubs with you.
Yeah, maybe that would have been good. That would have been better. But
send a message to the whole golf club, like, listen, you don't mess with us.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah, no, the temper thing doesn't work. It's not very good.
Well, it's great that you've got a handle on it. Last question. Your favorite golf moment. So either something you experienced personally or watched on TV.
So I had these questions in advance, of course, which is always nice to have a little bit of time to think about it. And this actually was the thing that just popped right into my mind. So for a little bit of time, my parents lived in Maryland. My dad worked for a company, a U.S. company, and he moved around the world with this company. And wherever he would go, he would say the first thing that was important to him was joining the best golf course, and that was always part of his contract. So when he lived in Cockeysville, Maryland, he joined a golf club called Caves Valley, and I went to visit, and they had the most incredible parent-child championship there. It was a 3-day event. I've never seen anything like it. People came from all over. And in lead up to this tournament, I played with the chairman of the golf course in just a social game. And I played the game of my life with this man. And I don't know what, I just had an out-of-body experience. And at that time, I full transparency, 76 is what I shot. That was a really good game of golf for me because I was a grown-up woman at that time. And I just was having this beautiful day, and everything was going right. And the way that Caves Valley worked at the time is you had to be invited to join the club, and nobody could just pay to join. You had to be invited, you had to be vetted, the whole thing. So after that round was done, I was invited to join as a standalone, the first international female member based on my play.
Wow.
And so for 10 years I joined, and it cost me, I don't know, $500 a year or something to join this golf course. I had my name on it. It felt like Augusta to me.
Wow.
And it was just this most amazing moment. And so the part B of the story is that the other person who was on the property that week trying to get an invite was Michael Jordan.
Oh my God.
Because and
what?
Literally, he was playing with the chairman the next day, and he goes, well, tomorrow I've got Michael Jordan here for a round of golf. And so this place at that time, it had nothing to do with who you were, what you did for a living. Nobody cared. It was, if you respect the game and you show up and you kind of demonstrate. So he did get an invite in the end, but that was pretty special. That was pretty special. Yeah, that was a pretty cool moment.
Incredible. Oh
yeah. Golf is a neat sport that way.
Your dad
My
must have been
God.
very proud of you in that
Oh,
moment and
oh yeah.
ungrounded you even.
Yeah, grounded me. Exactly. Yeah, no, that was pretty special. Yeah, there's been lots of special moments like that though, but that stood out as pretty neat.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Mm.
What's I guess this we asked the final question, the final question. So when we
Yeah.
started this podcast, it was just Daryl, Monty,
Mhm.
and myself, and one of the things we were acutely aware of was being three, straight men doing a golf podcast and not wanting to be too
Incredibly handsome straight men.
well,
Fair.
those are words, but we
Add-ons.
not wanting to be too broy, not wanting this to be too like male focused, and wanting to be
Yeah.
as inclusive as possible. But like, and I think maybe Gina, we even asked you this question when you were a guest on, but
Mhm.
what can men do better in golf? I know that's a big question and maybe an awkward question to answer, but do you have an answer to that question?
Hmm.
To allow for more inclusivity?
Yeah, I think just invite. So the LPGA actually had an incredible, very simple media platform that they built 3 or 4 years ago. It was a hashtag based initiative, hashtag invite her. And it was so simple and I loved everything about it. And it was just that. It was just, invite a woman to come to the golf course with you and let her arrive on her terms and pretend she doesn't know anything and let her ask any question, and no question's a dumb question, and just be inclusive in that way, and that's really it. It's just inviting someone, invite a woman to come with you. And the terminology, and they don't know, they don't know what's the pro shop, what's the back shop, where's the washroom, I need to know where the washroom is, all the women need to know where the washroom is, stuff like that. And I think that's just the biggest thing men can do, because men are still 75% of the golfing population. Just invite her. That's it.
That's great.
Love that. There you go, guys. Now you know.
All
now
right.
you know.
Sounds like a good
Gina,
idea.
let's go play golf. Let's go right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I've been
Tracey, what a
invited.
pleasure to have met you, and amazing all the
guys
things that
too.
you're doing, and looking forward to, if we ever get the chance, we would love to play with you at some point. That would be
Absolutely,
amazing.
anytime.
Great.
Yeah, look me up. That would be really fun.
Daryl is already
play
made an
for sure.
appointment to take a plane from England to Sarasota.
That's it. Sarasota, Toronto, I'm around. That would be fun. Yeah, and it's great to know you guys have this platform, combining comedy and golf together, because I absolutely think there's some good space for that, and I'll keep that in mind on my end too.
Please do. And I don't know if you want to talk to Gina on air or off air, or if you want to plug anything, any upcoming events, or for any women listeners.
You know what? That'd be great. I appreciate that. So one of my clients that I'm working with right now is Open Court, which is an incredible women's golf and tennis apparel brand and store. She has, so Karen is the owner of Open Court. She has 3 stores: Toronto, Thornbury, and Muskoka. And I am her fractional head of marketing, and meaning I am her head of marketing 1 or 2 days a week. And I am creating an event for her called Scramble with Style. And we're doing that event at Scarborough Golf Club on July 17th. And it is a fundraiser for Princess Margaret Cancer Foundation. And so the Cancer Foundation at Princess Margaret is very excited about this event, because it's a women's only event. And so they're getting really, really big behind it. And so Gina, that's off air. I was going to talk to you about somehow getting involved with Scramble with Style. So that'll be
cool.
it's going to be a 9-hole scramble event, which is perfect for women. And actually, I think perfect for anyone. 9-hole scramble is enough. So we're doing that in a couple of months, and Scarborough is a beautiful location for it. And Open Court's a wonderful female-owned Canadian golf business. So support that for sure.
Very cool. I definitely will talk to you more about that. That sounds
I will email you.
Really, Yeah, absolutely. And it's a tennis brand, but it's crossed over to golf. Is that what? Because it's so similar, right, in style?
That's so quickly the story is that Karen, the owner, is a tennis player, and she just observed there wasn't really a lot of nice stuff. She said, "I'm going to open my own store," and that's kind of how it started. She opened a store in Muskoka, and I've been in this business a long time, and I have a purview around North America of golf boutiques, and there's not one like it. So she's bringing brands in from all over the world, and it's high end, beautiful women's golf and tennis wear. So she did golf is probably 75% of her business now. So she started with tennis, but then golf very quickly became the lion's share of her business. And open court, so we kind of call it OC golf and tennis. But yeah, it's beautiful, really, really, really nice stuff. Yeah,
That's awesome.
I love those gals.
That.
Yeah.
That sounds
Well,
great.
thanks so much. Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for coming on and chatting with us. So many different
Thanks.
angles.
Great to meet you guys and gals.
Yeah,
We have to meet in person, Gina.
we do. We
So-
totally do. Now that you're here,
I'm
perfect.
back. So we'll get
Yeah.
together for coffee, and I'll look forward to that.
Okay, awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you, Tracey.
Thanks, Tracy.
Thanks,
Thank you,
guys.
Tracy.
Coming
Take care.
on.
Thanks for
Cheers.
All
coming.
the best.
Bye.
Same to you.
Great.
She's great, right?
Wow,
Yeah.
fantastic. GLP
Oh,
with the get.
what
I
a
like
good
it.
get. Except for I called her Tracey Luel just because I like the sound of it, but it's actually Tracey Luel. So sorry,
Luel.
Tracey.
That's okay.
I've changed your name for my own entertainment.
You had to make stylistic choices.
Yeah,
In
exactly.
this, in this case, with her name, that's sometimes it has to happen.
Sometimes I call Nick Nictory.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Nick DeRee.
it's like
I
one.
always
It looks
answer
like
though.
one.
I'm always responsive.
Yeah.
Personally, if anyone gets anywhere near my name, just M and something. I'm like, you nailed it. I mean,
I always thought you were Monty Scoot.
sure.
Is that not right? That's not right? Okay.
That's not.
Oh,
It's not traditionally
Gina,
how it's pronounced, but nevertheless.
Gina, you're so ready for Vegas. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Already. I should have my
Firing.
own residency show there.
You really
maybe,
should.
Maybe I'll stay,
You can be there with
What a
Colleen.
fun episode. That was great. It was awesome to
was
meet
super
Tracy
cool.
and hear her story. And yeah,
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
And
Thanks
the
everyone
woman,
for listening.
the woman upstairs only stomped 3 times. So,
good.
Yeah.
all 3 times you spoke. Well, that's episode 9 of we're at the turn, as it were, of this season. Yeah, we'll see you guys next week with a new episode.
Thanks for listening.
God bless you all.
Goodbye.
Keep in mind that tree on the left side of the fairway, and something distracted him.